your life is on the line and you know that you're on an oxygen tank and they're going to put you in your head, see what you do. Because the bottom line is that me, I'm one person. I can never miss.
Guy's not being loyal to you. How could you be loyal to him? Yeah. And whether you're your father or not. So, you know, but it's always been hard because it was my father.
The word came down, this guy had to go. You know, we didn't know nothing about him until the last minute. And I liked him. I liked Billy. He was a nice guy, but...
Welcome to the show.
Good. Simperfly Studio here, chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Gavin Goode. So the first commission piece that you were doing the horses, what painting did you do after that? What painting did they want you to do when they pulled
I was an actor from that point on. So there was no,
totally switched.
For sure, yeah. And then so I did 15 feature films, couple TV shows, and then I was getting a little more confidence, so I started auditioning for these independent films where I had a few lead roles. And then I started you hit a wall. Like, you know, talent will get you so far, but it really is the right spot at the right time, who you know. And I just got tired of living out of a backpack and bouncing from Baltimore, DC, Philly, Tampa, LA. It was just wearing me out. So I made a pretty nice payday with that XXX Part 2 with Sam Jackson and Ice Cube. And I took that money and I started what then was called Simperfly Productions. It's now Simperfly Studios. And I just said, you know, let's just cut out the middleman and I'll just make my own art. And that was 19 years ago. So now I sign all my art pieces with the XXX on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we have a connection right there with the name, man. So when I first got the name, right?
That's right.
Staxx, Bill Staxx, the guy who we were talking, right? I was in the studio and he goes, you should spell it with 3 X's. And I'm like, nah, man, it's like porno stuff. You know, I don't want to associate with that type of stuff. So he goes, I told him, I said, 2 X's, man, it's perfect. Because I used to have a backpack with a bunch of rhymes in it. I used to write rhymes and music and things. And he goes, you're Staxx, because you always have stacks of papers in the backpack. So I was like, that's a perfect name, man. And it just stuck ever since.
I can dig it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, man. So you started to do stuntman work. What are some of the crazy stunts you've done? And did you ever get severely hurt?
Well, severely, no, but I would come home and just be purple top to bottom. Because I'm not a big guy. So I was really agile. I'm pushing 50 now, but I was really agile, so I could climb on top of anything or jump out of anything or through anything. So I'd say the high stuff, the freehand climbing things and just walking on girders without wires, and looking back, you know, and then driving the motorcycles in ice was super terrifying, but it is what it is. It was worth it.
Motorcycles on ice. Shit.
Yeah.
I used to ride a scooter in the winter, man.
Those little wheels, no thanks.
Yeah, sliding all around. So did you ever get cut or anything during your stunt work?
I broke ribs, hands. Yeah, I don't think smashing through that door was hard on me. Like, I still feel that.
The 10 times, right? Because you're going through, but it's fake glass, right? It's like shattered glass or something.
No, it was a wooden door, and they had like 10 wooden doors, so they just keep putting a new door up. And so by take whatever, you know, I was just on my knees, face down in the middle of the yard, covered in, I don't know if I was in that movie. I was a ninja terrorist, and then I was also a SWAT. I don't really remember. I just remember that I was through. I was over it.
Were there ever times that you played the good guy and the villain in the same movie?
Well, yeah, that one, Triple X. Yeah, I was the main, whatever we were, some sort of terrorist. And then I was the guy heading the SWAT team. They actually had me write that scene. It was scene 12. So if you go to the DVD, if anybody remembers DVD or Blu-ray, they used to have it broken down in different chapters where you could pick which scene you wanted to watch. And so they gave me scene 12. It's my face on that scene. We literally did write it on a cocktail napkin at the bar on how a SWAT team would enter this building. So by the next day, they had fake windows to bust through. They had a couple doors for us to bust through. And yeah, that was super cool, super high speed.
So were you doing these movies when COVID broke out?
No. The last time I filmed was 2006. And then I started my company that year. So when COVID broke out, all of my clients pay me 100% up front. Basically, if you say you want something, I say, all right, this is what it's going to cost. And then I just put your check in a box and I call you in a few months and say, hey, man, we're about ready to start your piece. You want me to cash the check or throw it away? So that way they have time to change their mind and I don't have anything invested into it. So luckily for me, when COVID hit, I'd already had 5 or 6 projects waiting in the wings. COVID didn't hit my company until about 2 years after, a year and a half after, when, it's like, oh, wow, I should have had this already booked, but folks were hunkering down. I get it.
And a lot of the content, they were consuming content at a crazy rate. And I broke into it right in the perfect timing. No. But, content keeps going, man. It can, one video can keep generating revenue as time goes on because a lot of people keep watching it.
I can dig it.
And hopefully I can get some good content out there for the people and they'll enjoy.
Oh, you do great work, man. I love checking your stuff out. I love watching on in the Gorilla. Thanks, Eli, by the way, for connecting me to this gentleman. I appreciate
Eli,
you, bro.
Shout out to Eli.
Hey, yeah, I love seeing your stuff pop up. So let's keep up the great work.
Thank you, man. And so one of my last questions is, you do a lot of work for to help different charities and things like that. Who are some of the charities that you've helped in the past, and what are some of the things that you got planned for the future?
So last year, I tried to not turn down any charity. I tried to do it. I tried to work for every charity that came across the board. And I learned a lot about how charities work, how non-for-profit 501c3s work, where the money goes, what you can spend, what you can't. I've done work for various veterans organizations, cancer societies, raised probably a couple $100,000. Well, I raised about $60,000 last year on my spare time, just by myself. So I'm dialing that in because a lot of these companies have galas or live events, and I'm learning what things generate the most money, learning how to read the crowds, things like that. So I'd like to do more. I'm doing about 4 events a year. This Mark Wahlberg is for the Beaumont Children's Foundation. That's going to be a big event. There's like 50 celebrities, I think. Last year, I found out that Sugar Ray Leonard was going to be there the day before. So I went to the hotel room and painted out a picture of Sugar Ray and donated it, and they sold it for like $9 or $10 grand.
That's so wild that you can do that on the fly. I'm just gonna whip up a Sugar Ray real quick.
Gotta just be thinking on the fly. You're not there to party. You're there to raise money and to try to build your brand and your company, and just staying with it. So hopefully I can do a lot more of that in the future. That's my plan, is to work on the philanthropy.
Well, you're doing great stuff, man. And I've definitely seen your art around. It has a unique look.
Yeah, it's just what comes out.
Hey, if people can tell your paintings, I think that's a really good thing.
I can dig it. I appreciate that.
Well, man, I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, man, this is fun.
Sky's the limit in the future. I'm gonna edit this up and get it out there for the people. And where can the people find you at, man?
I am at Semper Fly Studios. It's a take on Semper Fi. Semper means always faithful, and I'm fly, so it was easy. But I'm semperflystudios.com, and then Semper Fly Studios on all the social media platforms, and you can see me on the Bill Staxx Show.
Definitely, man. Really appreciate it, man. And if you guys like this type of content, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't, too bad. Start your own podcast. Peace. What's good, everybody? I hope you guys like that. I got some major interviews dropping. I'm gonna play you guys a little snippet of what I got to come. You guys might recognize this guy.
Larry Hankin. Guess where I am? Well, I'm at home, but I'm chatting with Staxx.
Mr. Larry Hankins. So stay tuned. I'm going to get that one out. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch my show. I got a lot of content to come, so stay tuned. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell, and I'll see you guys